And welcome everybody to the first floor here at Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment. We're live from the Sam McKee Memorial broadcast set here at Meadowlands Racing, and I'd like to welcome someone very special, the newest member of the broadcast team here at the Meadowlands, Jessica Otten. Jessica, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. It's great to be with you. It's great to have you on board. How does a girl from Lennon, Michigan, who had no idea she'd be here last month, get to be on Racing from the Meadowlands? How'd this happen?
Well, I have a huge shout out to give to Post Time with Mike and Mike, who kind of got me started in the broadcasting aspect of the business. I was born and raised in the business, taking care of horses, and I traveled with them all over doing the Grand Circuit races for the past 2 years. And about a month ago, I got in contact with Jason Settlemore, and here I am today.
Pretty incredible. A great rise to a great ascension to the top, as it were. I tell you what, I want to get right into some of our graphics to talk about your background, something that I call Say Yes to the Jess. And clearly you grew up in Lennon, and you've lived there all your life, as
Yes.
you told me.
Yep.
You grew up on a farm with a half-mile track. How much acreage was that?
About 10 acres and a 27 stall barn.
Well, that's a pretty big place.
Yes, it is.
No question about that. Now, your dad, Peter, he's a longtime horseman. Where did he campaign horses for the most part?
When he was younger, he was mostly in the Canadian aspect of it, and then when he met my mom, he moved to Michigan, and they did that circuit for a while it was really well. And then now we go back and forth a little bit in Michigan, a little bit in Ohio, and a little bit still in Canada.
Now, you told me yesterday that you started grooming horses at the age of 10. Is that when you really started to really get indoctrinated into the game?
Yes, that's when I started to fall in love with the horses. 10 years old at Windsor Raceway, actually. And then just from there on out, I've been able to grow and learn as a groom and caretaker.
All right, so you have the background in harness racing, but the background for TV and stuff would come much later.
Yes.
But during the course of your life, some interesting twists and turns. First and foremost, you owned your first horse at the age of 14?
Yes.
Now, when I was 14, I had about $1.75 in my pocket. How in the world did you acquire a Wando?
Well, actually, I was given my first racehorse, and then he went on to make actually quite a bit of money. So my sister and I bought into a couple more, and then we kind of went on from there.
All right, so something I found very interesting, at the age of 15, you actually testified in front of the Michigan House of Representatives? Now,
Yes.
what is that about?
So actually the House of Representatives and Senate for the ag committees, we were trying to get a bill passed through them and to the governor for extended gaming in the state of Michigan. So I kind of told them my story and went on from there.
Now, the horsemen obviously, for lack of a better term, were starving at the time, I'm sure, because the harness racing in Michigan did go through some tough times.
Yes.
Has it rebounded any, or is it still on a decline in the Michigan?
It's still pretty much on a decline. I mean, they're doing the best they can with what they have, which props to them. They're doing a very good job. We only have one racetrack right now that doesn't even race all year round, so they have to do a lot of traveling just to make ends meet, but they're doing a good job for what they have.
Now, when Maywood Park and Balmoral went down, a lot of those horsemen relocated when they weren't racing at Hawthorne to Hoosier Park. What about in Michigan? Where do those horsemen now travel to?
Typically, those horsemen go to Ohio, Dayton, Northfield, Miami Valley, and some even go up over to Canada. A lot of times you'll find them in Indiana as well, but their meet is getting ready to end too.
So tell me more about testifying in front of the House. Was it a very scary situation? And it certainly sounds like it.
So the first time I actually went, I didn't even get to testify. I just got to sit there and watch, and I was scared to death, actually. And then the second time I went, and I was like, this is my story. I'm going to put as much passion and heart into it as possible, because at the time my parents weren't living together. My dad was in Canada with a 15 horse stable, and my mom and my sister and I were living back home in Michigan. So I didn't get to see my dad for 6 months out of the year pretty much. And I really wanted to get that point across to them, because you're splitting up families across the state of Michigan, which in any other job your parents do, you shouldn't have to do that. So I wanted them to know what I was going through. Well,
yeah, certainly that took an awful lot of nerve for a young lady like you were. And in fact, when you graduated high school, you told me that you were actually thinking about a degree in law.
Yeah, so when I graduated high school, I really honestly didn't know what I wanted to do. So I kind of liked the law aspect of it from testifying, and then I really like technology. So I wanted to do something with that. So I was like, computer fraud specialist, that would be awesome. And then Post Time with Mike and Mike Bozich and Mike Carter asked me to come out here 2 years ago for the for the Breeders' Crown.
Right.
And I just absolutely loved doing the live interviews for them. And then I went to school the next day and changed my major to marketing and communications, and here I am.
So you did some work for Mike and Mike.
Yes.
And that was in a podcast format?
Yes.
All right, so that's not an on-camera.
Nope.
But you do have some on-camera experience working on the Ohio Sire Stakes circuit and also at the London's Western Fair.
Yes, I did the Ohio Sire Stakes Super Night post-race interviews with Gabe Pruitt and the crew there, which was a lot of fun, good experience. And then Western Fair does a little pregame show like this. And last year, probably about once a month, I kind of ended up on there with Sugar Doyle, and that was a lot of fun as well.
Gabe Pruitt, I know that guy. He's got about 15 jobs, that guy.
Yeah,
he works
much.
everywhere. Boy, I tell you what, it's insane. So, all right, moving forward, you get the job at the Meadowlands. What is going to be your role here?
I'm going to be the promotion and contest host and also the paddock interviewer, along with running the social media pages. So I'm really excited to extend out the knowledge of harness racing and to the guests that come here.
What can social media do for harness racing? We've asked this question 100 times. I'm in the older category. You know, I'm just getting used to Twitter and stuff like that. How can we get more of young folks to come out to the track using social media as the platform?
Young people love social media, and I think it's really good to communicate and contact with them, along with doing like the contests as well. And social media is a really good way to just get the word out there. I mean, everybody's always on their phones. You see it, the airports, the gas stations, the restaurants. You never see anybody not on their phone. And I think it's a really good way to communicate and get the word out.
Well, hopefully in the coming weeks and months, we'll see much more of Jessica Otten. We sure will, because tonight we're going to give her the rest of the night off, but tomorrow night you'll see her in the back paddock doing some interviews. Jessica Otten, welcome to the team here at Racing from the Meadowlands, and lots of good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
We'll be back in 60 seconds. Dave Brower will jump into Jessica's seat, where we will look at our weekly award winners, our Breeders' Crown recap, and of course, a look at tonight's featured Preferred Handicap for Trotters.